I'd say before the season started, most Rays podcasts or social media accounts or whatever it may be would have said that the bullpen was one of the strengths of this team. Even after losing Robert Stevenson and a couple other guys, you bring in like Phil Maton, and it seems very well rounded. You have some confidence. You got a real good closer. You got a setup guy, and don't have much confidence so far this season in this bullpen. It's not looking hot. Regardless of all of that, we'll get into all of that. The Rays win the series against the Rockies, taking 2 out of 3. Just barely. This team seems like they don't want to make anything easy. If they're winning, unfortunately, seems like you can count on the other team to make a bit of a comeback. Or if you go down early, the Rays are going to try and make that comeback. So it's just, stress. Before this game started, obviously the Rays in their first 2 series had multiple games where the bats just were not there, were not alive. They were dead asleep, in deep sleep. And this series, going in, the Rockies, their starting rotation had a combined ERA of about 10. 10. If there was any series to, heat up, I would say this is it. And against the Rockies starters, yeah, I'd like to see what their combined ERA is now, because it's definitely not a 10. So let's start going through it. Game 1, this is Littell versus Gomber, and it seemed like it was going to be a great day from the start. It was a good crowd in Colorado. This was their opening day, first home game of the year for them, and the bats were alive early. Yandy, Ramirez, Paredes, all doing work. Meade walked. Even though you only got 1 run out of that first inning, Gomber threw 41 pitches in the first inning. That should set you up for some real success the rest of the game, but it just didn't happen that way. Gomber ended up going 4 innings, 89 pitches, and only giving up 2 earned runs after that 41 pitch inning. So rough start, but he kind of settled in. Yes, he only went 4 innings, so that was a good thing. And you can bring in these rough relievers that the Rockies have. Their pitching staff just doesn't seem too great overall. Like I said, that 10 ERA going, obviously it's very, very early in the season. That's not going to stay that way. But their starting rotation has had a rough start to the season, and then we saw their relievers, they'll allow you to get back into a game. Littell, in his second outing of the season, 5 innings pitched, only 1 earned run, 5 Ks. Looks great. Just like his first outing, brings that over, carries that over here in Colorado, and in the first road game of the season, puts up a great outing and gives the Rays a real chance to win this game. But as soon as Littell exits, Rays dip into that bullpen, and things go downhill right away. I think it started with Poche, 1 inning pitch, that's 3 earned runs. There you go. Wagaspak, he comes in, 2 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. So the Rays are down 6-2. Things kind of just falling off the tracks. But in that 8th and 9th inning, they decide to... something rejuvenated them. I don't know if something in that Colorado air or some of the stuff they can sell in Colorado. I don't know what they got their hands on. But late in games, they wake up. They wake up. So in that 9th inning, a lot happens. Sorry, this is not memorized. I have to read this off. Yandy Diaz doubles. Harold Ramirez singles to center, scores Diaz. Rosarena singles. Paredes singles. Rosario grounds out to shortstop, that scores Ramirez. Hortvet, that guy, I'm a fan. He singles, and yeah, that's it for Lawrence, who they brought in the 9th. Rough. And guess who they do bring in? Guess who they bring in after they take out their closer? Jalen Beeks. Oh, Jalen Beeks. So Hortvet is able to score on an error. Siri was... it looked like a normal ground out to third, but McMahon, there's an error there, and he isn't able to come up with the catch. Series safe at first. Horvat scores. Rays take the lead 7-6 going into the bottom of the ninth. I knew Fairbanks was going to be the guy coming out, and I felt confident. I was like, all right, Pete Fairbanks, it's your time. Close it out. This is what you're on this team to do. Whew. Yeah. 3 walks in a row. How about that? 3 walks in a row. Just was not able to find the strike zone at all. Did not look comfortable at all. He's asking for a new ball, like some. I was at a loss. Either way, Jason Adams brought in, and McMahon makes up for the mishap at first base in the top of the inning, and grand slam walk-off. Good for those Rockies fans on their opening day. What a game for them. But for us, Fairbanks, what's going on? He hasn't looked right pretty much every time he's entered. That game against the Rangers, was it, where we were up about 4 runs and he allows 1 guy to score and then 2 more guys are on base and the game-tying run is up to hit and he nearly hits the home run. It like falls out the warning track. You're just like, all right, Pete, yes, we won, but that did not look good at all. So I don't know. You really hoped Pete Fairbanks. I was hoping Pete Fairbanks would take another step this season and kind of solidify himself as maybe one of the top 7 closers in baseball. He's going to have to straighten a lot of things out before that happens. So in Game 2, very cold, very windy. Not the weather you see too typically for a baseball game, but it is in Colorado. It's April. I didn't know it still really gets that cold in April, but born and raised in Tampa, I don't know about that life. But the first thing I thought to myself when I saw the weather, the wind, I said, I guess Pete Fairbanks isn't playing in this game because of that whole, I don't know what it is where he can't pitch in cold weather. So I knew we wouldn't see him in this game. And for the second game in a row, the Rays get things going early. Lau walks, Paredes drops 1 in the shallow right. That scores Lau. That makes it 1-0 Rays. Tyler Alexander is on the mound for the Rays in this one. No opener like the first outing with Tyler Alexander. He just straight into it. And unfortunately, I would say nothing to be impressed about. Maybe a little bit better than his first outing, but nothing to feel confident about. That's for sure. Feltner, on the other hand, for the Rockies, looked amazing. Gave up that 1 run I just talked about, but other than that, nothing. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts. I'm going to keep going back to it. Remember what I said, a 10 ERA going into this game for the starting rotation. Just making work of this lineup. Once again, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 10 Ks. Tyler Alexander's line, 4 1/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Once again, nothing to be impressed about. And he leaves the game with the bases loaded. Davinsky ends up coming into the game and is able to get the Rays out of that on a double play. Thank goodness, because with how the game played out, I don't know if the Rays would have won this game if Davinsky doesn't escape that inning. And there's just a very similar feeling to this game as there was to the first game. It's 6-1 heading into the later stages of the game, except last game it was 6-2 going into the later stages of the game. Will the Rays make a comeback? That's all you're thinking about. The bats have been freezing cold with Feltner on the mound, but he's out of the game now, and this bullpen for the Rockies, like I said, does not look good at all. Here we go. So in the top of the 7th inning, Horvat, like I said, big fan of this guy so far. Just coming up big when it counts. Really, really tough pitch to get to. Able to get the bat to ball and score 2 guys. Palacios and Ramirez is who rounds the bases there, and that makes it 6-3 going into the 8th now. Going into that 8th inning, another one of those just innings. Here we go. Paredes homers, that starts it off. And before I even get into this, there's already 2 outs. Lau fouled out to third, and Arozarena grounded out to third. So there's already 2 outs, and all of this happens. Paredes starts it all with that solo shot. Palacios singles. Ramirez doubles, that scores Palacios. Rosario singles, that scores Ramirez. Ortvet walked. Siri walked. And Lawrence comes back in. We saw what he did the game before. Not going to say I saw him and was kind of happy about it, but maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. Yandy Diaz at the plate, bases loaded. Come on now. He singles to right. Horvat scores. Rosario scores. And the Rays are all of a sudden up 8-6. Now, can we close it out this time? Can we close it out this time? If they did not close that game out, that would have been too much. Too much false hope in a span of 2 days. Because the day before, we had game 1. We just went over that. Then we go into Saturday. The Lightning played the Penguins, and they were down 4-1. They made the comeback 4-4. Crazy third period, and they end up losing 5-4. Okay? There's the second instance of false hope. Then there's this game. Down 6-1. They make the comeback. They're up 8-6. I swear if you guys lose in this 9th inning, thank goodness. Thank goodness. We can all just take a nice deep breath. The Rays win. Jason Adam comes in and closes out that 8th inning. And then Colin Poche, I was very concerned when I saw that's who we were bringing in the 9th, but he is able to get out of that. Appreciate you, Colin. I'll give you props when you do your thing. Rays win. 8-6. Then we move on to game 3. Ryan Pepio Masterclass? Is that what we're going to call this? Because that Ryan Pepio? That one? I'm into that. I am very into that. So Pepio's outing. 6 innings pitched. 3 hits. 0 earned runs. 11 strikeouts. His last outing, you could tell the nerves were there. He wasn't too confident in that first inning, but after that, he settled in, looked good against the defending champions in baseball. This time he comes out, those nerves, that lack of confidence is not there, and he just gets right into it. Right into it. That's probably... Is that the best pitching performance so far this year from a starter? I mean, Savali's had some good ones. Eflin's second one was pretty good, but 6 innings pitched, 94 pitches, 11 Ks, no earned runs. I think that's the best outing so far this season. Shout out to Ryan Pepio and the masterclass performance on this Sunday. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then that second inning, I was a huge fan of that second inning just because of the names. It's not the Rosarenas, it's not the Laus, it's not the Yandis. Austin Shenton, anyone? He doubles to right, that scores Caballero, who just doubled. And then Jose Siri singles to left to score Austin Shenton. Rays go up 2-0. 3 names. 3 names I will... That's... If they're getting hits and driving home runs, I will be always be very happy. Shenton, Caballero, Siri. Beautiful. So the Rays are up 3-0. Cruising, confident. Only 3-0 lead, but with how Pepio was pitching, I don't think any Rays fan watching this game was too worried while he was on the mound. He exits. Clevenger comes in. Does okay. He has not really looked all that great so far this season either. Let's see. He came in the 7th inning and walks Bryant and Jones singles. So there's a man on first and second. They bring in Phil Maton. Now, Phil Maton, highest paid reliever, I believe. And obviously just bringing him in this year from the Astros, expecting very, very big things from Phil Maton. And we have been getting the tiniest of things. The worst of things. unfortunately. So he's able to get out of that inning. But going into the next inning, it was not hot. So Cave pinch hits for Trejo. He triples. And then Diaz is hitting for Stallings. So Diaz singles, that scores Cave, makes it 3-1. He walks Blackman, walks Tovar, and bases are loaded. So 3-1 game, bases loaded, 8th inning. Phil Maton, supposed to be a really good guy that we can have confidence in, supposed to be. All of a sudden, we have to take him out in a high leverage situation and put in Sean Armstrong. And Sean Armstrong, obviously, up and down at times, but we have to give him his props for saving this game for the Rays. He comes in, and McMahon grounds into a fielder's choice. The Rays throw out the man at home, and then Bryant grounds into a double play. Beautiful play by Brandon Lau at second base, having to back up, still throw it to first in time, and the Rays escape. Bases loaded, no outs. They escape. So like I said, this team seems like they just don't like to make anything easy. So Jones walks. Armstrong is still pitching, by the way. He gets moved to second, and then Doyle singles to right, and Jones scores. So it's 3-2. And here we go again. And just barely, the Rays are able to hold them off to win 3-2. Very dramatic series, full of ups and downs. And it was very tough to take 2 out of 3 against a 2-8 Colorado Rockies team. So the Rays are now at 5-5. The division has been playing pretty well, so I think they're still in last place. I can double check that here. So here's our full standings. They are now in 4th place at 5-5. Like I said, the division's playing pretty well. Yankees have been killing it at 8-2. Red Sox at 6-3, Orioles at 5-4, and then us at 5-5. So, hey, we'll take it anytime you win a series on the road, even if it's 2 out of 3 against a bad team. It's on the road. You got to take those. So next up, we have a 3-game series against the Angels. This one is still staying on the road, so going to Anaheim, and we'll see what they can do against the Angels, who have been playing pretty well this year. See them down here in the AL West at 5-3. So, top of the order coming up for our rotation: Eflin, Savali, Littell. That's as good as it gets for us right now, and hopefully we can win this series as well and head back home. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below your thoughts on this series. Like I said, this thing was dramatic, and you got to be okay with taking 2 out of 3, even if it's the Colorado Rockies, who are very clearly rebuilding. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and go Rays.